Why don't we get started? Okay. So we know as Rotarians that we are very, very, very busy. We balance our family, we balance our work, we balance our time for the community. And part of that community service, of course, is met through our Rotary experience. And because we're stretched in so many different directions, it's really, really important that the time that we are Rotarians, we are having an impact. So the session today is going to share different things at the district level that you might want to share some of your Rotary time with, because you can truly make an impact. And let me see on the chat, I saw a button come up, but we're good. Okay. Okay, so let's get going. So we talk about today's session focusing on how you can volunteer some of your Rotary time and resources to help us at the district. And the question becomes then, what is the district? And one thing that I like to emphasize, since I am a retired city manager, it is not hierarchical. Where in government you have your cities, you have your counties, you have the state, and you have the Fed. One is all over the other. That is not the case in Rotary. Basically, the district is just a group of Rotarians from clubs throughout the area that we serve, and they volunteer to serve at the district simply to support our Rotarians and our clubs. And the map you see on the screen shows how large and expansive District 5160 is. Our southernmost clubs are Berkeley and San Ramon. We go up the I-80 corridor, the 680 corridor, the 24 corridor, and then head up I-5. And we have clubs on both our east and our west of I-5, all the way up to Weed. We have a total of 72 Rotary clubs and 8 Rotaract clubs. And the job of the district is to support all of those clubs and club members. And we have between our Rotarians and our Rotaractors about 3,300 members that we serve. And the basic goal in serving and supporting our clubs is that we want to be sure clubs are strong. And if you were in the opening session that I gave on Saturday, you already heard the presentation about Be Club Strong, but it's such an important message, I'm going to share it again. Basically, what Rotary did is they looked at all the clubs across the world, and they identified statistically those clubs that are strong, that are stable, that they have their membership isn't going up and down and up and down, and not a lot of turnover. They're involved at all levels of Rotary. They donate to the foundation. They do great projects. They take advantage of all the tools that Rotary has available to make sure a club is strong and their members are impactful, involved, and engaged. And once they identified those clubs, they did a correlation to see if there were any common characteristics between those clubs that made them strong. And they basically came up with 5 traits. And the first is that they have club leaders that are trained, engaged, and passionate. They also are big on setting goals and priorities and action steps on how to achieve those goals and priorities. Third, they provide opportunities to serve from their members. Members, as we've been saying throughout this session, want to have an impact. That's really, really important. And these strong clubs provide that opportunity. Fourth, they're visible in terms of what they're doing, whether it is at community events and saying, hey, we're Rotary, or it's the social media outreach, or it's the YouTube videos, or it's newspapers, newsletters. They're shouting out what we do, who we are as Rotarians. And you think about, as a member, that makes you proud, right? So you're going to be a strong club. But the 5th point kind of wraps it all up. And the focus here is that we want, at the club level, we want to support our members. We want to be sure that we are giving them the opportunity to be active and intentional in the member engagement opportunities we give them. Every Rotarian has a different path and interest and passions to follow. And as clubs, if we're strong, we recognize not everyone is the same. And we want to make sure that that Rotary experience is great for every member. That's the power of Rotary. So at the district level, when we say we're supporting the clubs and we are supporting the members, it's on this framework. And so what I'm going to do next, fingers crossed that it worked. Okay, we're going to get into some of the specific areas that you can serve and volunteer at the district level. Again, our whole interest here is we want to expand your viewing frame. We want to enhance your Rotary journey by identifying different opportunities for you to serve and have an impact. And we all know Yogi Berra and his wonderful quotation, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. And we're hoping that you will consider the fork in the road that leads you to district service. And the other thing I want to point out here is when we look at talking to folks about stepping up to serve at the district, we're interested in knowing what your skills are and what your passions are. But we are also interested in learning about new skills you might be wanting to develop or new passions to explore. So do not think that to step up to the district level in some capacity that, like in the past, you had to have been a club president before you could do so. That is not what we're talking about today. Again, it's all about our members, all about having a positive impact. Okay, so now we have 5, 6, 7 slides that are going to focus in on specific areas and opportunities where you can volunteer and serve time at the district level. And one of the biggest pieces is education. And when we talk about education and training, most people think, oh, well, that's just the person that is speaking to groups. I don't like to speak in front of groups, although it's a good thing to learn for your profession and whatnot. But there are so many different things beyond presenting. You can be marketing the event. You can be doing event planning and logistics behind the event. We have people on board that are taking these videos from our fall Festival of Learning, and they're editing them down, 21 of them. There's a team of folks that do that. But if you have a skill that you feel you could train other Rotarians in clubs to learn about, that would help them be a, what's the word I'm looking for? It helps the club, it helps the member, but it might inspire the member. Those are all the kinds of things we're talking about in the education and training realm. And Kevin, as a new member here, the training opportunities and education opportunities are so expansive. We have them in our Fall Festival of Learning, which is also noted in Rotary World as fall seminars. We do training at pre-pets. We do training at the district conference. We do training in the spring assembly. You can even be a presenter at a club meeting. So there's lots of opportunities here if this is something you're interested in. The second area is where we talked before, that strong clubs give opportunities to members to get involved in projects and have an impact. And a lot of clubs, they've got their projects. They know what they're doing. They have long-term Rotarians and they have long history, but sometimes you need to change things up a little bit. And that's where the district can come in. So we have teams of people that are working on community and local service projects, international projects, and they're sharing what's going on in other clubs in other areas and even other districts that you might, as a club member, adopt for your club, might get you excited. We also have people that work at the district level who work with people to apply for district grants or global grants. We also have people at the district level that really reach out on the foundation and support people to give to our Rotary Foundation, because it's that money that is donated to the Rotary Foundation that comes back to the districts in grants. Clubs also always struggle with what is new, innovative, fun out there for fundraising. Obviously, to do service, whether it's locally or internationally, you need resources. And so, yes, you've got the grant opportunities out there, but grant opportunities require funding matches at the club level. And so every club has their own foundation fundraising efforts that take place. The other thing that, when we think of increasing a member's impact, giving them that wow experience, is our International Service Committee. And I bet there's like maybe, wow, I should know, 12, 15 people on that group. You're not limited. You know, we want all the volunteers we can get, but they keep in touch with the clubs on what type of international service projects are coming up, so that if other Rotarians want to volunteer and be part of that service project, they can sign up. We recognize that when you are managing a project internationally, it's a lot of work, very rewarding. But we want people to get out there and experience this hands-on. And so that's another thing that people that volunteer in this whole service area help our clubs and our members understand. Oops, not that one. There we go. Another area of community service and getting your hands wet, dirty, working, hands-on, is youth services. And we have two main camps that we support: Camp Royal, which is a leadership camp, and we have Camp Venture, which is like a business entrepreneurial camp. And when we talk about that camp, it really is like Shark Tank. It literally is like Shark Tank. I had my first opportunity to go to both of these camps this summer, and it's just really rewarding. And if you want to get involved in youth services with the camps, you can do the marketing, because what happens is the clubs sponsor campers to go to fill our camps. And so there's a marketing effort, there is a registration effort, there is education and orientation effort that goes with all of the campers. You can be a chaperone on a bus as you take the campers to and fro the different camps. Camp Venture, I believe, is 4 or 5 days. Camp Royal is a week. Wonderful experience. The other area we have in youth services is Interact, and there are virtually 60 different Interact clubs throughout the district. And your opportunity here is, you can, at the district level, you can work with the different club Interact chairs, get those folks talking, share those ideas on how to integrate the interactors, which actually they meet monthly, some meet weekly. It's wonderful, but get them engaged in our projects, help them with leadership and mentoring, help them with their fundraising efforts. So it's a very cool interaction that goes on there. There's also a Interact Council that is really kind of set up just like our district. And so the Interact Council has, I think, 8 students, and they provide support to the interactors. And the district role is to try to help them with their leadership development and mentoring and those types of things. Youth Exchange. This also is a phenomenal project. Have any of you hosted a Youth Exchange student, whether it's Rotary or otherwise, in your home? Oh, my goodness, life changing. There is an individual who is very involved in youth exchange. His name is Scott Gerber. He's currently, Don, one of your classmates, president of Doherty Valley. I never can say it right. Doherty Valley, San Ramon. Oh my gosh. Anyway, he and his wife have had 19 exchange students that they have hosted, and he's in his young 50s. I bet he's 51 or something. I mean, it's just insane. So if you talk to people who house youth exchange students, it's just really rewarding. But there are other things that you could do in this area. So we in youth exchange, we send students out and we have students come in. At our district conference, we will have 11 exchange students representing 11 countries visiting us. And this picture is actually from youth exchange. They come here for 9 months. They go to school here. It's a full year-long program, basically. And what the youth exchange team does is they have to do the applications for the students coming in. They do the applications for the students going out. They have to work with visas and transportation and all those things. Others plan the programming. I have volunteered to see if we can get a trip to Disneyland organized for our folks, working with one of my classmates down in the Anaheim area who also has youth exchange students. So it's a very rewarding, very rewarding program. And then youth protection is, we just recently adopted an updated policy to be sure we're in compliance with all the best practices on youth protection, because we want to be sure our youth are protected, our members are protected, and our clubs are protected. And so our youth protection team basically makes sure anyone that is involved with youth in a non-casual way does get certified through background checks and those types of things. And if you would just be interested in volunteering to interview people who are going through this background check process, they would welcome your assistance. Now, membership. Membership is a huge area. It's hard to describe what one does in membership. If you look at your own club, there's so many facets of membership, because at your club level, just think for a moment at your club level, you are recruiting new members, you're going through an orientation with your new members. Most clubs have the red badge changes to the blue badge, so you get to learn all about what's going on in your club. You want to be sure food is good. You want to be sure the club environment is good. And I do laugh at food, Kevin. I know you're new. That's one of the biggest, most important things to people, because they are meeting and congregating and they want a nice experience. At the club level, you also have speakers. And if you have great speakers like La Marinda, which is where Kevin is from. Awesome speakers. Berkeley, I also tout. Dawn, I haven't seen many of your club meetings. Do you have awesome speakers? Oh, that's right. Sorry, give me the thumb up. Thank you. So all of these things impact that member experience at the club level. And so at the district, this team, and boy, we have 1, 2, 3, ideally 15 people are in this team. Marcia Brown is our current membership chair at the district. Janet Kennedy is our member engagement chair. They work very closely together, and they are resources between big Rotary International. They go to regular meetings to get best practices. They bring them to the DG line. They bring them to the AGs. They bring them to the presidents, and they bring them to the clubs. So the hardest thing about membership is that there are so many resources, so many ideas out there, so many opportunities of how to do new things, how to shake things up. It's almost too much. And so how do you find the gems of that information? And so our membership teams are working very, very hard on that. Each area, there are 12 areas in the district. The goal is to have a single membership ambassador in each of those areas that works closely with the membership chair and the member engagement chair. And then they meet with the club membership chairs. And each area can have as few as 4 clubs in it, up to 8. So it's really a big operation. Lots of possibilities for volunteering there. And if we grow, when we do grow our membership, I mean, that's the reward for this group. It's awesome. The other area, and I will be honest, this is not my area, event planning and logistics. This is what makes our big events happen and successful, and they are important because it's giving our everyday Rotarians a bigger picture of what Rotary is all about. And our biggest event every single year is our district conference. This year it's October 28th to the 30th in Monterey. We had a committee meeting today. I think there must be about 25, 30 people working on that committee, all aspects of this huge, huge event. It's wonderful. We may have only 40 seats left. So that is, if you have not registered, get on it, get on it. 40 seats is 20 couples. It's amazing to be almost sold out this early. I wish we had more space. It's going to be fantastic. But other events that we have are at the end of the year is our annual awards banquet. It will be, I believe, if July 8th is a Saturday, it's July 8th. If Saturday is a July 9th, it's July 9th. And this is where we get all the clubs together to celebrate the year. We make awards. It's our last big hurrah as Claire Roberts, the district governor that follows myself, she comes in with her team, and it's just a wonderful celebration. And our theme with Hollywood will be Academy Awards. So it's going to be a blast. But in between there for event planning and logistics, it's our spring assemblies, it's our pre-pets, it's our pets. I mean, there are things that we need sergeant of arms for that direct everyone where to go. We need people to get food. We need people to get facilities. We need people to put out signs. We need people to advertise. So again, when we talk about these opportunities, they can be little time commitments. They don't have to be the big time commitments like I was talking about on membership. So keep that in mind. I should have pointed that out before. This is my favorite area, okay? We do so many things at the district, as you have been hearing. And we have so many resources and we have so many great ideas. But if we only know about it, we're not going to be successful. We are not going to help and support those clubs if they don't hear these tidbits of ways to operate differently, improve, shake things up. If they don't hear about wonderful polio events that are in the works, if they don't hear what their other clubs in their area are doing so they can partner, if they don't hear about these international service volunteer opportunities, we're not doing our job. So we have a huge push in 22-23 to really, really amp up our communications team. And we're talking about communicating to our clubs and to our members. That's our internal communications. We also want to shout out what Rotary is all about to the external world, because that helps our our partnerships that helps bringing in new Rotarians. PR and branding is a team that supports the clubs when they want to set up their own website, where they want to do their Facebook improvement, where they want to improve their graphics. That's the PR branding team. And all of this is, in today's world, really ultimately comes down to social media. So we have probably this year, I'm going through the list in my mind. I bet we have 25 people that are working under Chuck Yeager in your club, Kevin. Have you met Chuck?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Oh my God, he's just awesome, and he has a corporate background with all this social media stuff. He had a team of 12 people in this huge company. But anyway, he has just built an amazing team. So we have talent, we have videographers, we have people working in a studio, we have editors. Last night, Cynthia Garcia did a whole thing on just working with Canva and graphics. And earlier she worked on a session just on how to up your game on Facebook, so you're getting more likes and shares and all those things. She's our social media guru, but they are just doing an outstanding job. We also have a pilot project this year that Chuck is heading up, where we're working with District 5150, which is in San Francisco, and 5170, which is in the Silicon Valley area. And they're doing a kind of a Bay Area blast, because a lot of our members, they're commuting through Sacramento, through Solano County to the Bay Area. And how do we get the word of Rotary out there? By leveraging our resources. So a lot of fun things there. And then finally, the last area, these are the folks that really literally work behind the scenes. You don't see them very often, but they keep us organized and moving forward. We have auditors, we have accountants, we have computer gurus. We had a situation 2 weeks ago where our Google platform was changing over. I don't even know what it was doing, but it would have been disastrous if they didn't catch this. And so there's a lot of people working behind the scenes to keep us all moving forward. So with that, we all know that when people look at their limited time and they pick where they're going to volunteer and step up and do whatever they're going to do, it's reasonable to ask, what's in it for me? And when we look at volunteering at the district level, again, a couple key points I want to reemphasize. It doesn't have to be a lot of time. There are jobs that are small, that are periodic, and there are big jobs. So it's not necessarily a choice between club versus district. The second thing I want to emphasize is that, yes, if you have certain skills and certain passions that we need, we want you and we'll recruit you. If you don't hear from us and you've got a special skill set, please contact us. And my last slide has contact information in it. But if you want to learn something, if you want to expand your skill sets, if you want to, I'm not sure where my passion lies, let me kind of test some things out. The district is a great way to do that. The fellowship, friendship, and fun that you have at the club level expands exponentially when you step up at the district level, which is also a benefit for your club, because you're going to get to know people around the district. And it is just phenomenal when people get connected. And what can happen. Professional growth. This I'm bad that I think, oh, well, this is for our younger people. It really isn't. It really isn't. People who are retired, they want to sometimes go back and work part-time. Well, there are things in the district that you can volunteer on that can build up those skill sets so that you could volunteer on something else. Just imagine being project manager. Just imagine, God, I actually had someone that wanted to explore bookkeeping and accounting in more detail. That one surprised me. But again, we all have our different interests, right? If you are not comfortable to be presenting in front of others, wow, we've got lots of opportunities for you. Videography, social media, graphics, the whole world is going visual. So lots of opportunities for professional growth there. And when you talk about impact, one of the number one reasons we stay in Rotary is it's the service and impact, and it's the friendships we make. That's why people join, and that's why people stay. Again, at the district level, you're working with so many amazing people. Here is the contact information. And if you want to get your phone out and take a picture, please do. The district resource guide that you see off to the right, that is a great place to reinforce everything that I have been talking about tonight. And you can find that guide on DACDB. There is a link to the district resource guide. It is electronic. You can also go to our district website, and under the resources tab, scroll down and you'll see the resource guide there, and you can open it up. I believe on page 12, if I am correct, it has a list of all of the different teams and all of the people on those teams. So let's say you see a team you might be interested in, and guess what? Someone might be in your club that is on that list. Look them up. Ask them about it. See what kind of support they might need. And if it's someone that you don't know, they would love to hear from you. It's all that connection. It's all that connection. We're all looking for volunteers. And Kevin, as you are new, every July 1st, a new district governor comes in to lead the district. There is no way you could take on this role for more than a year. But they are building their teams 2 to 3 years leading up to that July 1st. So if there is something that you see from tonight's presentation or in the resource guide, Claire Roberts, who is in your club, Kevin, she starts next July 1st. Yeah, you got a lot of district support there. Anyway, she starts July 1st. If there's something you're interested in exploring, contact her. Following her is Dan Giraldi, and he also is already starting to build his team. We get training 2 to 3 years in advance. Rotary's big on training and leadership training and mentoring and making sure that we can do what we can do to support our clubs. So with that said, the DG line, your AGs, your current chairs, all of that's in the district resource guide. Email them with I am in or I am interested in talking. And my email is right there. Awesome. Bye.